Okay, so here we are arriving at, there's another town down south here called Squin. This is now the Shek Kingdom. So Squin is, there's only a handful, a few Shek um, towns, and this area here basically is kind of the Shek Kingdom. There's some cities out here. This is kind of the main town. There's one other one that's I think the headquarters, but this is one of the main cities. We're just cruising, and there's a couple characters we're going to recruit here just because I like to get them, and I want to have them in my crew. So Shekar, again, kind of this warrior. We've seen probably plenty of these out in and around, like in the United Cities. There was plenty of Shek. There's Shek everywhere, but this is just all Shek. So the United Empires is kind of basically a very uh, diverse empire. There's, hivers, humans, Shek, and all living together. There's some skeletons, and you'll even see skeleton samurai and stuff from time to time. So the Shek Kingdom is very just Sheks. The Holy Nation is just all humans. So these guys are just basically cool, badass. Warrior type culture, and they're pretty cool. So, anyways, we're gonna get a couple Shek in our crew. I should at some point. I really want to do. I've never done just a playthrough where I'm just all Shek, and that would be pretty awesome. I have built out like platoons of Shek, just made them super super awesome at combat, and used them to like guard as guards at my base or an army to send out and just devastate the enemy. All your characters can get good and super high level and fight really well, but Shek are kind of geared towards that. That's like what they're really good at. They're a little tougher. They take a little more less damage. I think they get stronger faster. All that good stuff. So, anyways, let's see who we see around here. She's kind of like a little bit of, she's like a baseline character, but she's kind of a unique character. But we're gonna see who do we want to get. We're gonna go into some of the bars. There's another unique character here that a lot of people recruit. A lot of these are just baseline. So if you need to get some Shek, go into the Shek Kingdom and go start recruiting. You also see like Catnip, which I didn't recruit. You'll see Shek out in the other areas of Kenshi as well. But we're gonna go and find the character we're looking for, and I'll come back, or at least one of them, and we'll go try to recruit them. I say try to recruit them. I guess if you don't know what to say to them, you could make them mad and not recruit some of them. I already know what to say, so we're going to recruit them, but we're going to go find them. So if you're playing through, of course, you can kind of save scum it if you wanted to. Like you're not sure what to say to somebody, or you want to just see what the different outcomes are. You could, save right before you go talk to them, and then go back out. So this particular building is, I think this is an L house is what it's called. This is actually a pretty spacious building. This was a really good one once you have the tech for it to build in your base. It's good for like armor shops and stuff like that. It just has a lot of good room in it. Not that that's neither here nor there at this point. So I'm just going upstairs and just looking to see. Yeah, I don't see anybody here. So we're gonna go to the next one. There are two bars. So again, you can just click on buildings to see what they are. I think I talked about that plenty before, but you can see like this is an armor shop. Usually people are in the bar. You see people wandering the streets. A lot of times people spawn as you're like approaching the city for the first time and sort of then start wandering around and getting settled to wherever they're going to go. Like I said, this is Rain the Giant. She's a unique character, but I'm not going to grab her this time. I don't know why. I always have bad luck when I get her. She dies, so she's like a bad omen for me. I know it's stupid, but it's true. It's just how I feel about it. I'm not really superstitious, but in this case I am. Okay, so we're gonna go in here and we'll look around. Okay, there's one of the characters. So this character is probably one of the first characters a lot of people will recruit because if you go just start exploring around from the hub, you'll get to the city pretty easily usually, and even if you don't know what's going on and you're just wandering. So we're gonna have Zog go talk to her. This is Ruka. All right. So, and so this is something, this is, spoiler lore stuff you'll just learn through like playing the game anyways, not like a secret. But the Shek are, like I said, warrior class kind of society, and they have these big horny horns, horny horns. They have horns on, they have like kind of like a bony outer layer to their skin. That's why I kind of feel like the Shek are like the native to whatever this Kenshi is. Like it's some planet somewhere, and they're like native because you have bone dogs and all the animal life and stuff in Kenshi for the most part sort of seems to have this bony outer layer on them. So that's why my theory, and that information may be available somewhere, but my theory is that the Shek are kind of like the natives to Kenshi, the Kenshi planet, because this is definitely not Earth. They'll put it that way. There's like multiple planets. You can see multiple sister planets like out in the sky or moons and stuff. So this is definitely not Earth. So, anyways, they have these horns, and you'll notice her horns are all stubby and short. So she's like looking at my horns. I guess so. Sometimes it'll pick up this. It sees that we have a skeleton, so I don't know why she thinks she's talking to him because dog's talking to her, but whatever. It's cool. Um, yeah, so I'll just say, yeah, I was just thinking how stubby they look. And then she talks about how she would. This is kind of where you learn that lore about the horns. There's other characters you'll talk to that'll talk about it too. Um, so she's asking. You have your options, of course, and there's Shek. So like to me, I think the choice is obvious. So, yeah, you just keep fighting to the end. You don't care when you get knocked down in battle. And she's like, yeah, she likes what you say, right? And then you can say, like whatever you want, but I usually just say, "Oh, but you don't deserve this." And then she's like, "Wow, I kind of like how you think, dude. I want to I'm now a disgraced Shek. I'd love to come hang out with you, and you can tell her get lost, or you can say, "Yeah, I would love to have you." And this is another one of the special. I guess you could change how she looks and stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just say confirm. And now we got Ruka. All right, we'll go find the other character I want to recruit here because there's one other one I like to get, just because he's cool looking, and we'll move on from there. Okay, so here's the other character I want to recruit. So he was Haruka, by the way, again, is another free character. That's why it's easy. She's really easy. Like, so if you just start in the hub, if you want to get somebody really quick. Now, Hobbs is also free, and Hobbs supposedly spawns in the hub sometimes. I have seen him there once, so I think it's maybe rare he spawns there. But if he's free, so if you spawn in the hub, go look around and see if you want to get, him in your crew and you want to get people in your group quickly. You don't need any money to recruit him. Uh, well, I'll mention something about that in a second. But anyways, Hobbs is free, so you can look for him in the hub when you start. Ruka's also free, so you can go get her down in Squin really easily because it's you might get beat up by hungry bandits on the way, but that's all part of the fun. And anyways, this guy here, he's not free, but I like him because his name's Kang. Two reasons I like him. The first reason is because he's got this cool red war paint on his face, and he just looks cool and tough. And the other reason I like him because his name Kang, which I think is the name of the aliens, one of the aliens in The Simpsons. So anyways, I think that's just pretty awesome. So we're gonna go talk to him and recruit him. Now he is a little more expensive, but he's also, if you can get the cats together to get him, he's a good guy to get early game if you come to Squin from the hub because he's got some pretty decent stats to start, and he'll probably survive battle. Like if you'll still get knocked down in the dirt by like dust bandits and stuff if you're like hanging out in this area and you only have a few people with you. But he's kind of his stats are a little higher, so he does cost more money. This is the first person I think we're going to recruit that we pay money for, besides Azumi. But he does cost some money. I think he's 6,000 cats. We'll find out in a second. And but he's kind of good because he's got some stats already. So he's kind of probably his stats are maybe even a little higher than what we have now, or they're um, you know right around that at least. So he's kind of already a little bit good to get because he having someone that has some combat experience will and toughness in them will allow them to get knocked down in battle, but get back up and not go into recovery coma, and he can heal your other characters. So that's really the advantage. So he's like basically like out for hire as a bodyguard or whatnot, and they really like talking to to Burn for some reason, even though I thought maybe I told Burn to go talk to him. I don't know. I thought I told Zog to go talk to him. But he's like, yeah, maybe you got any skills, or you can say, I am, how much you charging? I just care. What is he charging? Yeah, 6,000 cats. So usually if someone costs 6,000 cats, you can know that they have some skill. It might be as high as like 20 in like their, weapon skills and melee combat and stuff. If it's somebody that's like an engineer, says something about being a cook or engineer or something like that, and you're recruiting them and they're 6,000, it might be, in that specific skill set, it might be a little bit high, like towards the 30, 40, 50 range or something like that. Sometimes you're surprised. You're like, wow, that person has like a, 60 cook skill, but cook skill isn't that critical. It just helps them cook food and process food faster. It's not, it's important, yes, but does it really help you early game? Not really, not that much. You really need people that can help protect you. So, anyways, this guy is 6,000. I'll say, uh, y- we'll say this: you're hired, but you'd better remember who's boss. And I will be your warrior, but you are no boss of me. So that's sort of Shek-ish thing to say. King's like, he's kind of a tough dude. He's gonna be on our crew, and we'll go to his stats so you can see. Yeah, like his melee attack is 24, and we've been fighting a bit. Yeah, see, Zog's the character I've had. Now, I haven't done a lot of combat yet for as long, we're on day 33. Sometimes I could have had these characters way higher on their combat skills if I'd had them fighting more. But we're day 33 and only at 19. Now, from here, we're going to start getting into a lot more fighting, so our combat's going to go up. But you can see this guy, Zog's my starting character. His is only 19, yet this guy we just recruited. So I could have been, started in the hub and, 0 or 1 or whatever melee attack and got this guy if I got 6,000 cats from mining or whatever, stealing stuff and selling it, and then we could have gotten a guy that's 24 and he would have helped us out a lot. So anyways, that's those are the recruits. That's kind of some tips on early, and this is kind of later, like way in my video series. But those are some tips early game. These are some people you can get for, and they're pretty advantageous. So just so you know too, you could go recruit some of these other people. I think Rain the Giant's here too. I don't remember how much she costs. She might be more like 7,500. She might even be better than him. Um, I don't remember, so don't quote me. But that's another character you can recruit that has some for some money that I think has some additional higher level stats. Most of these people, you'll see some of them have their horn shaved off like Ruka. Anybody again that you see that's just a pair of pants and a sword or some sort of weapon on their back. This is a Shek warrior, so they have like martial artist bindings and samurai plate pants. But anybody and you can't hire them, by the way, obviously. But anybody who's a drifter in the drifters and just wearing pants, you can hire. So you can hire them for usually 3,000 cats. That's the typical hiring recruitment fee for any character in Kenshi for a baseline character. So if anybody you talk to and they cost a little more, you can kind of count on that they have a higher level stat. There's some exceptions to that where people kind of like con you into paying them more, try to con you into paying them more money, and it turns out that they totally suck. But I won't give those away. You can find out. That's kind of funny when they do that. You're like, okay, you said you were an awesome swordsman, but you totally suck. You're worse than me. That's kind of funny when that happens. And I paid you like 12,000 cats or whatever that was they asked for. Um, that does happen. There's a few of those, but basically the base recruitment dialogues will be just like simple, and these guys are 3,000, and someone that costs 6,000 usually has some stats. So, anyways, this was super long about recruiting 2 people, but it was also kind of like a list of like some tips and tricks on some people you could get early game if you came from the hub that will help you along your journey in Kenshi.